Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something, well, it's everywhere, isn't it? How we talk to AI. You've probably heard the buzz about prompt engineering. I mean, some places even offer graduate courses on it. But just think about it for a second. When did your best idea really come from just barking orders? Isn't it usually from, a conversation? So our mission today, using Erickson Katz's really insightful Guilty by Syntax series, is to kind of challenge how you might be thinking about talking with AI. We want to figure out why treating AI like a partner in conversation, not just a machine taking instructions, might be the real key, both for unlocking its potential and for tackling some pretty big ethical questions. Think of this as your way to get genuinely up to speed on something that's changing, well, incredibly fast.
And Erickson Katz is, the perfect person to walk us through this. He's an architect of ethical AI systems. His whole Guilty by Syntax series gets into this really complex relationship between how we think, what AI can do, and what that means for, say, leadership and even authorship. It's a really fascinating look at what it means to create things now when machines are so tangled up in how we do it.
That background's helpful. So Katz is pushing back against prompt engineering. What's his alternative then? How does he think we should approach it?
Well, it's actually pretty intuitive, especially given his background. He studied mass communication. So when he first started playing around with AI, he hadn't even heard the term prompt engineering. He just did what he knew, applied principles of, grammar, speech, business writing, thinking about the audience. And he realized pretty quickly there wasn't some secret handshake, no secret syntax. It just came down to clear, human-centered communication, giving context. And that led him to this core idea. We don't need to engineer anything. We need to have a conversation.
A conversation, not an instruction set.
Okay.
So how does he break down that difference? What makes it a conversation?
He makes a really clear distinction. Instruction, he says, is basically telling the AI what to do. It's a command, fixed. Conversation, though, that's different. It explores, it clarifies. You build ideas together, collaboratively.
Right. One is top down, the other is back and forth.
Exactly. Instruction assumes you're in control, dictating. Conversation invites a partnership. It's a process, not just an order.
And what's really interesting is thinking about how that distinction matters for leaders. HR, learning, and development.
Well, absolutely, because if you see AI this way, it stops being just another piece of software.
Yeah.
It starts reflecting how we think, how we lead teams, how we interact generally. And there's a risk, right? If we just train people on prompt engineering, we might be teaching them fixed scripts, like lines in a play. But what we actually need is adaptive intelligence, people who can think on their feet, digitally speaking.
So Katz throws down a challenge, essentially, to you listening. Next time you're training your team on AI, ask yourself, are we teaching them just to write commands? Or are we actually helping them get better at having conversations? With the AI, sure, but maybe even with each other, too. It feels like this isn't just theoretical for him, though. Does he share any examples, like where this plays out?
Oh, yeah. He has this fantastic story, really brings it home. He talks about his assistant sending him a legal draft, something for their lawyer. Normally, Erickson would edit it himself. That was the usual routine. But this time, he had his assistant use their AI assistant first, an AI that had been trained on Erickson's own writing guide to refine the draft.
Okay, so the AI polishes it based on his style. What happened? What did the lawyer say?
It's pretty striking. The next day, the lawyer calls up or emails and asks, hang on, did Erickson write this or did you?
Wow.
Yeah, because the tone, the structure, the logic, that is his style. And Erickson realized, after about a year working with ChatGPT and Gemini, they could mimic him. His tone, his structure, even his thought patterns, with what he called surprising fidelity. It wasn't just sounding like him. It was, and this is his phrase, writing in ways that mirror how I think. Kind of spooky, almost.
That reaction from the lawyer really says it all. How deeply the AI absorbed his way of thinking and writing. What did Erickson see as the big takeaways from that?
He points out three huge things. First, scalability. Suddenly, his writing style wasn't just his anymore, it was a system. His assistant could draft things in his voice without needing his direct time for every single word.
Huge time saver.
Exactly. Second, continuity. The brand voice, the logic, the nuances, they were all preserved consistently.
Makes sense.
And third, clarity. All this led to fewer revisions needed, faster delivery times, and just better alignment all around. I mean, imagine your whole team drafting with that kind of strategic consistency because the system learned it from the source.
But that level of mirroring, I guess, that must raise some serious questions too, right?
Oh, absolutely. And this is where Katz really dives into the ethical side. He asks, point blank, what happens when a machine mirrors a person so well that even people who work closely with him can't tell the difference, which leads straight to big questions about attribution. I mean, who is the author when AI refines something to sound exactly like you? Is it still you?
Partly. And what about transparency?
Right. Especially in fields like law or medicine, education.
Yeah.
How much do you need to disclose when AI is baked into the process like that?
It explains the title of his series, Guilty by Syntax.
Precisely. Because sometimes, as he says, the voice is familiar, but the hands that shaped it were digital.
And there's another piece to this mirroring idea. He mentioned Grammarly flagging his own writing as AI generated.
Yeah, it's a fascinating little detail. He says it flags this stuff anywhere from 0 up to maybe 20% AI generated.
Well, why if he wrote it?
It's not because he's copying anything. It's because, as he puts it, he's spent the past year training it to write like me. See, these AI detectors, they don't understand intention. They can't really detect synthesis or nuance. They just spot patterns.
Patterns the AI learned from him.
Exactly. So the irony is sometimes your best, clearest, most human writing might get flagged. Not because a machine wrote it, but because it's achieved a kind of machine-like precision and consistency. The AI learned human clarity, and now the detectors see the echo.
So the challenge he puts out there for leaders, writers, trainers, it's not about catching AI use.
Not at all. He says we need to stop asking, did AI write this? That's the wrong question. We should be asking, was this created with accountability, with purpose, with a clear voice? That's what authorship means now, according to him. It's about the integrity and intent behind it, not just whose fingers hit the keys.
Okay, which brings us to another point from his work, this idea of fine-tune the echo, but don't call it insight. What's the danger he's warning about there?
Yeah, this is a really critical point. If all you do is train an AI model to mimic your top 1%, your best phrases, your most successful arguments, then you really have to ask yourself, are you actually boosting creativity here? Or are you just creating conformity, a really polished echo?
Oh, I see. It reinforces what already exists.
Exactly, because AI models reflect how we interact with them, not just how we instruct them. So if we only teach them to parrot our greatest hits, we're actually narrowing the possibilities. We're rewarding what worked before instead of encouraging new emergent ideas. He calls it brand-looped reinforcement. It sounds impressive, but it's not really thought leadership. It's just looping.
A sophisticated feedback loop, but still a loop.
Right. And that's why he insists true collaboration with AI isn't about just feeding it prompts. It's about embedding your intent, your nuance, even narrative tension into the interaction. He has this great line, something like, AI doesn't suck at writing. It's just waiting for us humans to treat it like a thinking partner, not just some kind of content vending machine.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big picture for everyone listening, trying to figure out this AI landscape? The main takeaway seems to be this really crucial shift, right? Moving away from just giving instructions towards having real collaborative conversations with AI. We've seen how powerful AI can be at learning and even mirroring human style, which is amazing, but also raises these huge ethical and practical questions.
Yeah.
About authorship, transparency, what thinking even means now.
Absolutely. And it leaves us with this final, really provocative thought from Katz to chew on. The real echo isn't in the model. It's in how we measure worth. So maybe reflect on your own AI interactions. Think about how you can move beyond just commands. How can you build partnerships that are more collaborative, more ethical, and maybe even truly intelligent? In this new era, what does accountability, purpose, and that clarity of voice, what does that actually mean for you and the work you do? Something to think about.